What's up everybody, and welcome to today's Tableau walkthrough. In this video, we're going to create a calculated field. Some of you may be familiar with calculated fields. It's very similar to programming, but it's programming for Tableau. And the reason you probably need to create a calculated field is because your data source that you're working with may not have a field or column that you need for your analysis. So Tableau makes it simple to where you can actually create a new column within Tableau, which is considered a calculated field. For example, your data source might contain fields with values for sales and profit, but maybe you actually want the profit ratio. In this particular case, you can create a calculated field for profit ratio using data from the sales and the profit fields that were actually given to you in your data set. So let's get into creating a calculated field. The first thing you need to do to create a calculated field, before that creation, you need to do two things. That is, open your Tableau application and then connect your data source. We're going to be using the sample superstore data source, so you need to navigate to the connect left panel, scroll down to save data sources, and then click the sample superstore data source. The next thing you need to do is you have the ability to create a calculated field for any type of data visualization that you're going to use or create. But for this particular case, we're going to just create a simple table. And let's say we want the category information by region. And so to do that for this particular data set, we need to navigate to the data pane. We need to pick category, which is under product. And we're going to drag that into the rows shelf. The second thing we need to do, if we want it by region, we need to hit the drop down arrow next to location, go to region, and drag region into the column shelf. So now you have a simple table of just the category by the regions. And now we have the default ABC variables, but just to remove that one, we just need to use the marks card to add text. But before we get into the marks card, we need to create our calculated field. So there's two different ways to create a calculated field. The first way is you can hit the analysis on the toolbar, scroll down to create calculated field, and that's right below parameters, right above edit calculated field. The next option that I actually like and really enjoy to use is hitting this drop down arrow in the data pane. And I'm going to zoom in so you can see it a little bit better. And then all you need to do is this drop down arrow is a shortcut to actually create a calculated field and other things like parameters, which we'll talk in future videos. But what we want to do is click this drop down arrow and create a calculated field. And this is the second option to create a calculated field in Tableau. Once you click it, you'll have this pop-up window to where you can create a calculated field. I'm going to name this field profit ratio. Then to get the calculated field of the profit ratio, I'm going to use the sum function, which if you look to the right and type in sum, you can see that this will give you details of each function that you can use, and it even gives you some examples of what it actually does and how to actually incorporate it into a calculated field. So the first thing I'm going to do is type sum. If I type sum and actually click the function, it would automatically pop up. Then I type profit. This is the profit that we actually care about. The bin is actually going to be for histograms, and then bin size is just the bin size for a histogram. So you want to click the first one, and then to get the ratio, you divide by the sum of the cells, and then it should automatically populate. It's not case sensitive, so you can do it, but just so it looks a little cleaner, I'm going to capitalize sum. And now it says my calculation is valid. I can press OK. If you don't see the calculation is valid right here below the screen, you might need to redo it and do some debugging. Now we have a profit ratio variable that is under our data pan. It's under the measure names. And if we drag this profit ratio into the text, this will give us the profit ratio for our analysis. And if we want to understand a little bit more about what that calculation is actually doing, if we right click one of the cells, click view data, and then we see the profit ratio value that is already correlated with the furniture on the central region. But if we want to see all the data that we actually work with, this is what we use. So it summed all the profit rows, summed all the sales rows, and then divided it to get that particular value. So now you know how to create a calculated field in Tableau. Let's name our table and sheet. Call it calc field for short. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.